What did you say? Say it out loud. Anybody know one person to see the sisters are smarter than the brothers? You know? I don't know, maybe he didn't. I was saying these brothers were not paying attention. All right, guys, tell me, what's so important about this month? Anything important happened? Today's Friday, yeah. Today's Jumu'ah. I'm talking about the month, not today. The month. What's so important in this month? Go ahead, sister. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was born in this month. So do we want to talk about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? Do we want to talk about him and see how we can what? لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. What does that mean? It's a great example, yes. Yes. So the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the best example for us. Right? In the hadith, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. That the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was sent to perfect our manners. So let's talk today about the characteristics of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And you guys are going to be the teacher, I'm going to be the student. All right? So give me some characteristics of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, since you're going to be the teacher. Go ahead. Humble, and when you give me the example, that's excellent, but I want you to give me an example, I want you to give me a story, I want you something we can learn from. So humble is good. Do you have any examples? So keep that in mind. Try to have an example with it, a story to tell with it. Do you have one or you don't have one? Go ahead. Sadiq al-Amin. Give me an example. What did he do that made him a Sadiq al-Amin?
Actually, when he had Amana for people in Mecca, he was going to Medina and he didn't know how to give them the money. So he left the money with Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, and then he gave the money to them before he went to Medina.
All right, never heard of that story. Sisters, you have one example? Yes. Sisters, you listen, I can't hear her because there's too much talking. Yes. Give us a story. There was a bakery. Uh-huh. All right, go ahead, sister. Okay, patience. You guys paying attention there? Do you have patience today? We said the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to be our example, so patience. You have to sit down and listen. Go ahead, brother. Behind you. Let's listen. Let's try to listen. Unless we want to bring them up on the mic so everybody pays attention, or we're going to turn this into a big pure circle because you guys are getting too much. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Everybody heard that story? That's a very famous story. Anybody hear what he said?
Well, I need to control. I moved everybody with you, so the line will take it for everybody.
Okay.
That's
Guys, let's do it a little bit more. Sisters get a little bit more too. Just come a little closer, it's okay. Guys, move over. Let's everybody take a few steps forward. Brother. So this is an important story. So the story is when they used to put garbage in front of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's house, and then he noticed the garbage wasn't there, and it turned out that the person was sick. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, look at his humbleness. Somebody's putting garbage in front of your house every time. You know, like, I don't know if people do that now. You take your garbage, put it in somebody else's house instead of you taking out your own garbage or being organized with the garbage. And he noticed that there was no garbage in front of his house. And he went to check up on them, and it turned out they were sick. And they were like, wow, what kind of characteristic is this? We're doing bad to you, and you're coming to check up on us? And they ended up reverting to Islam. Anybody heard of that story before? Have you ever done that before, where somebody's treating you so bad and then you treat the bad with good? Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Guys. Yeah.
He set an example of humanity. For example, with he was sitting with his companions, and they were sitting and they argued. There was someone that came and argued with them. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, got up and left. And then they went running back, and they're like, "Why did you leave?" It was like, as you were talking back, when we were not talking back, the angels were around us. But when you started speaking horribly, the devils got replaced with the angels. So,
Yeah, I think that was a story of they were putting down a bucket, insulting him, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept smiling. And they were like, what, you know, this guy's insulting me and you're smiling. And insulting me again and you're smiling. Insulting me again and you're smiling. He said every time you didn't respond, the angel was defending you. But when you actually responded to that person's insult, the angels left. So that shows you us what? What do we learn from that story? What do we learn? Hold on, we'll try to get people involved. Go ahead. What do you learn from that story? Forgot. All right, go ahead. What did we learn from the story? Yeah, that story. Okay. What else did we learn from that story? What? No, wait for us to answer. We're going to try to get everybody involved. It's good to keep raising your hand, but we'll everybody involved. Go ahead. What? How to be respectful, kindness. Go ahead, Laura. Here's the thing. So basically, when somebody's insulting you, somebody's acting rude, right? And somebody's cursing at you, it's kind of like fighting with a pig in mud. Do you want to fight with a pig in mud? Do you want to fight with anybody in mud? What's going to happen? Are you strong? You're strong? Cody? You're tough? So if you're a tough guy, right, you're going to go in the mud and fight, and what's going to happen at the end? Sit down. You're going to win the fight, right, because you're tough, right? You're going to win the fight or won't? You're going to win or lose? But what's going to happen at the end? You're going to still be dirty. So that's the point. When you're fighting with pigs in the mud, even if you win the fight, you're still going to get dirty. So somebody's insulting you, and you're stooping, you're lowering yourself to their level, right? You're lowering yourself to their level, even if you say good things and funny things and make fun of them. What happens at the end? You still got dirty. You still might even get some sin, right? Imam Shafi said it beautifully one time. He said, I debated with the smartest of people, right? We debate and argue. Girls like to argue, debate, try to win a conversation. Does that happen sometimes? So he said, radiallahu anhu, he's one of the four great scholars, said, I've debated with the smartest of people, and what happened? He's won those debates. And then he's debating with the dumbest of people, and what happened? Who won? The dumb person won. What were you going to say, sister? Go ahead. Exactly, so that's what he means. Go ahead. Exactly. So basically, sometimes you're trying to explain to somebody and they're just not understanding it, and you're sitting there an hour and two and trying to convince them, and at the end, they win because you couldn't convince them. But a smart person, you're able to convince them right away. You show them the proof, you show them this is common sense, you convince them right away. What are some other qualities and characteristics and a story to go with it that we have? Go ahead, brother.
He was courageous.
Courageous, good. Give me an example.
He fought in 2 battles.
Huh?
He fought in 2 battles.
He fought in a lot of battles. Okay. Yes.
I want to add to the humble quality. So one day, so usually when the Prophet ﷺ was sitting with his companions, and people would come and they wouldn't recognize the Prophet ﷺ, and they would say one of the companions were the Prophet ﷺ. So the companions wanted to like raise something little for the Prophet so he can be more recognizable. And the Prophet ﷺ didn't want it because to show like his humbleness.
As far as prophethood?
No, not prophethood, but to make it more recognizable to the people. That
I don't know if I understood the point of the story. You said when you'd be sitting in a gathering, and what would he do?
People wouldn't recognize him.
Okay. Because he was so humble. Okay, just when you talk about prophethood or any of that, that's what you kind of confused us with. Anyone else have any examples? Who didn't raise their hand yet? Go ahead. Use the mic if you want, I guess. Go, up to you.
He really cares for people, like, even though they were Muslims. For an example, he fought Bilal. He was a slave, and he had only little money, and he spent all of it on Bilal.
So that wasn't Bilal, that wasn't the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was Abu Bakr who bought him. But he freed him by buying him, yes. All right. Who else? Who else has a story of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and its characteristics and attached to the story? Go ahead.
A prophet.
He made him a prophet, yes. Okay, go ahead, sister there who didn't get a chance. Go ahead. Yeah, pass the mic.
That's okay, I'm fine. What's it called? He was selfless. For example, when they were boycotted for 3 years, he would save little food for the rest of the believers, and he would just be out of grass to survive.
Very good. Okay, go ahead.
I remember the story of one prophet, I don't know if it's they would like put spikes in front of his house as prophet Musa. And he would something that he would get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? We have some more sisters here. Anyone else who didn't get a story in yet? Anybody know anything of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Maybe you learned in school or read it or heard it. Brothers, let's see the brothers if they have something. Who remembers Ta'if? Let's give you a hint. When he went to Ta'if. Anybody know the story of Ta'if when he went to Mecca was not accepting the message of Islam, where did he go? To the Ta'if. No, Ta'if. Ta'if is close to Mecca. This is before the Hijrah. What happened in Ta'if? Did the people... Go ahead, brother. You have the story? Go. Give him the mic if you want.
Since they arrived, they all didn't believe his message, and they started telling their sons and their guys to throw stones on him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum uh, was behind him to protect him from getting stones in his body, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he don't get hurt. So, but in the end of the way, he got some hurts in his face and his body, and then someone from there, he was Nasrani, and he believed his message, and he said that he knew that they were like a messenger to for this message, and he believed the message, and he entered Islam.
Okay, what happened in Ta'if? So what happened to him there? He said the first part, he was harassed, his legs or knees were bleeding, they threw rocks and stones at him. Go ahead, sister, give her the mic. No, not you, her, sorry. No, right here. Go ahead. So what happened? He was bleeding, and then what happened?
Then
Who knows this story? It's a very famous story, sister. Let's go.
Sayyidina Jibreel go down to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and ask them if he
Sisters, are you listening?
put the two mountains on the Ta'if, but Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no, because if one person come out from Ta'if is Islam, no.
Yes, correct.
إن سيدنا جبريل عليه السلام نزل على سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وسأله
Sisters over there, maybe.
أن يطلق عليه جبلين الطائف عشان فيموت أهله، بس النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لسيدنا جبريل عليه السلام لأ، ممكن المسلمين يخرجوا منه.
So good. So she has a good part of the story too. So the angel came and said, since these people are harassing the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, guys, you with us?
Yes.
So what happened? Finish. What did she just say? You in the black hoodie. Yeah. What happened?
Honestly, oh my God, I didn't hear you.
Exactly. You weren't paying attention. That's why you didn't hear. So the angel came to him and told him, do you want me to close these two mountains on the whole Ta'if? Okay. So that's the first part of the story. Did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, yes, let's close these mountains and everybody dies in the Ta'if?
No.
What do you think, brother? What do you think happened? No, it's one behind you. No, him. You're still not paying attention? You didn't even hear my question either now? No, we're not talking about that. So, did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say yes, close the two mountains and kill everybody in Ta'if because they threw rocks and made him bleed? No. So, what did he say then? So, what did he say? That's the response. He said no, and he said maybe there's a Muslim that comes out of these people, which eventually they actually was Muslims that came out of them at a very important time, because the people of Ta'if were very good in business. They actually needed them. very late after Medina. But also the important line is, what did he say? What was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's main concern? What was the only thing he was thinking about? Was he thinking about himself? What was he thinking? What did he say? The very famous hadith. What was he thinking the whole time?
I think like he would have cared about them, if they would have what he helped. He didn't want them to go to hell.
Okay, but what did he say exactly? What was his famous line? What was his main concern? Go ahead, who knows? All right, go ahead.
That he said no. That he said no because he was rahmatan lil alamin.
Okay, what did he say exactly? What was his biggest concern? His biggest concern was Allah mad at him? He said, إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ بِكَ فَضْلٌ عَلَيْهِ فَلَا أُبَالِي. So after being tortured and all of this, he's saying, Allah is not mad at me because I wasn't maybe able to be successful with them and win some new people to Islam. He said, I'm not concerned, I'm not worried. So his biggest concern was Allah pleased with him? He didn't care about his own body. What's a good English word for that? When you have that type of mannerism. Selfless, such a good word. Do you know what selfless means? Where's these little guys? Selfless. What does it mean to be selfless? Selfless. That's selfish. We're talking about selfless. You guys in the back there know what selfless means? What is that guy in the red burgundy sweater? Right in front of you. In front of you. Yeah, that guy. What grade are you in? Yeah. You're in kindergarten? So how many times you got left back? You're in what grade? 7? Do you know what selfless means? Wow. 7th grade does not know selfless. What grade are you in? 3rd. So let's see if the 3rd grader is smarter than the 7th grader. Well, now she just got promoted. She's already in 4th grade now. All right, what is selfless? Exactly. Did you learn? He didn't learn it. Put the mic so he can learn. So he goes to school on Monday. He can teach everybody. Here, you listening? Are you listening this time? You two behind him too. Huh? I said listen. That's what I said. I didn't say you're involved.
He cares about himself, but not other. He cares about other people, but not himself.
Yeah, like he puts other people first. Doesn't mean like he doesn't care about himself, but selfless is like, yeah, not caring too much about yourself, caring for the well-being of others. How many of us are like that? You're like that? So we said we want examples from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? But we also want some examples from you, so we can learn, right? So maybe some of us don't know too many of these stories, but maybe we have some of these characteristics. So maybe you sisters over here can give us a story. Go ahead. Give us an example of when you were selfless. Turn around, sister. Tell her, turn around. Say good. Give me a story of when you were selfless. I think one of the brothers said he was selfless. Give me a story of you when you were selfless. Who has a story when they did something that was selfless? Sisters, back over here. Why is everybody on this side quiet? We know what selfless means, right? Give me a story when you did something selfless. Go ahead. You got what? Give him the mic.
So I got a donut from Dunkin' Donuts, and there's this homeless man. He looked helpless, so I gave him a piece.
Good. That's a very good example of being selfless. Would you sisters do that? You want that whole donut? What kind of donut was it, by the way? Huh? Strawberry? You have a story where you were selfless? Okay, give it. No, we need something you did. What do you want to say? Give him the mic so you can say. Maybe I know we learned something.
I give him the whole entire Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, right here. Guys back there, same thing. Can I have one of you sit here, maybe better, split up? Now we have to split up. Come here. Mix with the smart crowd. You stay in the classroom in the silly crowd, mix with the smart people. As they become smart. Stay with the silly kids and you're gonna get left back. You'll be in kindergarten still.
Okay, so one time I was buying something, and then I saw the cashier was having a bad day. Like he was like frustrated or like nervous. So
Next we're gonna split up the sisters too.
So I felt bad, and then I ended up giving the guy like the $3 tip or $2 tip.
To the cashier?
Yeah, and then the guy was like, he was like happy. He was like, now, so now I could buy a hamburger with this.
Nice. Very good. Okay, now let's go to, you have something important? Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, give her the mic. What time do you have here? Go. Okay, let's go. That's good. So she helped him with math. Kid was struggling. Okay, go ahead, sisters. And then we want to move on to some other topics. Go ahead, sister. Go.
I would have a water bottle when you say I would do stuff. Or if someone like it's just like it's an everyday thing you should do.
Okay. Go ahead, sister. The black. Yeah. Wow, mashallah. You heard that, guys? Her last water bottle she gave to somebody else. She stayed thirsty the whole day. Go ahead, sister, in the back there. Yeah, in the red, yeah. School.
So,
5 minutes.
I had some markers, and then somebody wanted those markers, so I gave it to them.
Nice. He wants to know to keep them or to borrow them. All right, let's go into another characteristic of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anybody have? Maybe we could do one more. So we'll do his story, and then we'll try to see if we did something like that. Who has? Go ahead. Because we have 5 minutes, they're saying. Give him the mic. Go ahead.
Sayyidina Musa.
Okay. What about?
So he was like he had his friends and for all his friends he was back of his bag. Then Musa opened the beach and then they walk and then they close the beach again.
Okay. Next, who has a story for us? Let's see who didn't say any. You have? What did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam do? What are his characteristics and what did he do? Go ahead. Let him, it's okay, let him talk. Yeah. Okay, sisters. Yes.
Give people food.
Okay. Go ahead. Give us an example. Okay. Give us an example, a story. All right, I'll give a few real quick on his generosity. Let's do that one. Anybody have anything on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's generosity? Give us a story on that or a saying. Go ahead.
He was advice.
Let's go.
There was a guy who went to the school. Someone told me this guy. I was like, I saw this guy. He told me basically there was a guy and a Quran, whatever. And then that's when he revealed to him, and then it was revealed to him to always read Ayatul Kursi so that we get protection from the black magic, and just.
There's a lot of misconception about like black magic, jinn, so you want to really stay away from those stories just a little bit, you know what I mean? I mean, jinn is real, us being able to see them and this and that, you know, or evil eye, you need to dig deep. It's not what we think it is. Sometimes we have too much superstition, so we want to be careful with that. But his generosity was he used to give like he never feared poverty. كان يعطي عطاء من لا يخشى الفقر. Go ahead, sister. You have one?
I wanted to add on to that.
Okay. More superstition? Yeah.
No. She said that he would give like a lot of advice. And he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order that people have to start being with confidence, like he wants to be with the prophet, because that's how much people would come to him this day, so many that Allah started ordering, okay, if he wants to be the prophet, that's something little.
Like give a gift, but I don't know if that was in general terms. I think it was for a specific group of people who maybe were trying to waste his time. And they put that just maybe test them, so it needs a little bit more studying, that specific story. Let's end with this, I guess. What does sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mean? Sallallahu. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. We know it means peace be upon him. But what does salah mean? You know what does salah mean, right? Prayers and blessings. So what is that when we say, may Allah pray to Prophet Muhammad? What does that mean exactly? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. We're asking Allah to pray, or is it like a dua? What are we exactly saying? Has anybody ever thought of that? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. We're asking Allah, kind of like in a way to pray on the Prophet Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is Allah pray. What does it mean? Anyone? You work there, yeah. Yeah. So something means to pray, right? Praise, okay, but a little bit more than that. When you ask Allah to pray on the Prophet, prayer is what? Go ahead, sister. No, Allah, you're asking Allah to pray to him. Or when you say sallallahu, it is Allah prayed. Allahumma salli, you're asking Allah to pray. So salah means dua, and Allah's way to pray on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's what salah means, right? But salah can also mean dua. Salah is like a dua. But what it really means is Allah, you're asking Allah to pray for him. And how does Allah pray for him? Through his mercy. You're praising the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam means, may Allah pray, may Allah have mercy on him. That's how Allah prays. That's when you say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that's Allah to pray or salli on him is through rahmah, through dua for him. That's what salah means in this sentence. Just to clarify that, I think we're done. I guess the moral of the story is he has a lot of great characteristics. Our job is to do what? Trying to emulate. That's the best example. Right, guys?
Yes.
Not like some of these guys right here. Their role model is who? LeBron James, or this great actor, or some of them, their role model, they want to be like Batman, Superman. Some sisters, maybe they have these toys, or adult, right? These are the best. Exactly. Or Barbie. These are the best. Hold on, guys. Guys, girls, we're wrapping up. All right, just I want to finish on this point. These are our best examples, right? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his friends, the women in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time, his daughter Fatima, his wife Aisha, Khadija. These are our best examples. And honestly, when you make these movies, are they real? It's fake. But honestly, if you can make movies about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the Sahaba, or the other prophets, or the women in Islam, honestly, the movie with all the special effects still would not do it justice. What kind of great characteristics they had. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us to be able to emulate them and follow in their footsteps and try to be like them. Okay? We ask Allah to accept this gathering. And when you get into these gatherings, the angels surround us and they mention us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in this gathering, may Allah bring down the rahmah and the sakina, the tranquility. Anyone have any final thoughts? Go ahead. Go ahead. Alayhi salam is peace. Okay, bless it. That's salam is the peace.